Hi everybody, welcome to another Bug of the Week episode. Today I want to talk about a topic that affects technical players in the upcoming Minecraft 1.14 snapshot. The behavior change I want to talk about basically makes TNT less useful for block breaking. Currently there are two main methods how you can break blocks in this game automatically. First one is the wither, but that one always depends on certain locations where you can trap the wither. This usually involves trapping the wither in bedrock. There are currently no 100% reliable movable wither cages. And the second method is using TNT, but that always hinges on some bugs that the community found out over the years, which finally made TNT useful. So if you remember, like 3 or 4 years ago, nobody really was using TNT in order to break blocks because it was just not worth it. We didn't have the knowledge back then how to use TNT efficiently. And one of those two bugs that is required got fixed lately. So the first bug is that moving blocks have a lower blast resistance, and the second bug was that moving blocks when blown up by TNT had a 100% drop chance. And the second behavior got changed. So if we take a look at this, you have to time it perfectly so the TNT explodes while the blocks are moving. That's why you can blow up a lot more blocks than usual. But what changed now in the Minecraft 1.14 snapshots is that only a really low amount of blocks would drop as an item. So if we can collect it, approximately I blew up 40 blocks here, might even a bit more, and I only got 12 items out of it. I think this was actually a lucky attempt, usually I even get less. Let's just try this once more. So from my testing, you get now about 20 to 30% of the items if you would do it like this. Okay, we had 12, and this time we only got 10 on top. So about 20 to 25% of the blocks blown up get dropped as an item. So this upcoming change would mean that contraptions like this blast chamber here would be way less efficient in Minecraft 1.14, and in some cases even begs the question if it's still worth it to use TNT to automatically break the blocks even. In case of the cobble farm, we don't need to input anything, it runs automatically, so you will just get about 20 to 25% of the cobble. You can compensate that by making a faster farm, or just AFK longer. But in some cases, like a tree farm, where you need to put in bone meal and saplings, TNT seems like it's no longer a viable alternative. But on the other hand, TNT always had the advantage, if you wanted to use it automatically, you don't rely on any location like you do with the wizard cage, so you could build up the TNT system everywhere. Whereas the wizard needs a special location, either you take the bedrock from the end island, or actually remove some bedrock in the nether dimension in order to make a wizard cage there, or certain locations in the overworld. Also huge projects like this vanilla survival quarry that we used in our survival world in order to gather a lot of terracotta would be no longer worth it if you would only get 20 to 25% of the items instead of the 95% which we currently get in Minecraft 1.12. Of course, we can adapt our contraptions, but only to a certain degree. If you would, for example, decide not to use a wizard cage, this would have the disadvantage that the wizard is only stationary, and the lag is caused by moving the blocks towards the wizard would affect the server performance even more, and B, also slow the whole project down even more. This quarry ran for 45 days. I guess without the efficient TNT and using a wizard instead, we would have had to run this for 2 years. So projects like this one here would just no longer be worth it. I also want to briefly discuss why this behavior was even changed after being in the game for so many years. It was a byproduct of introducing the block loot tables in the first Minecraft 1.14 snapshot. Those block loot tables enable map makers to customize the drops of blocks, for example. So you could, for example, give the stone block here a 1% drop chance to drop coal, etc. So it's mostly a feature for the map makers. Now, of course, I'm not arguing that Mojang should revert all the changes so we get our buggy behavior back with the 100% drop chance of moving blocks, but it would be at least nice if Mojang would maybe acknowledge that a lot of people spent quite a lot of time working on those contraptions and had a lot of fun doing so. It was definitely a really interesting mechanic, and also required a lot of engineering by the players, which is the whole point for a sandbox game, in my opinion. So that's why I'm asking the question, why does a block blown up by TNT not drop 100% of the items in the first place? In real life, TNT is used quite often for mining, but in Minecraft it's practically useless. Nobody uses TNT to go mining, because if you would only get 20% of the diamond ore you blow up, it's just not worth it. So in my opinion, 100% drop chance of blocks, regardless if they're moving or not, would be really welcome, because currently TNT is actually quite expensive. You need to spend 5 gunpowder and 4 sand, and it's ultimately worthless for the kind of intended use, which is mining. Mostly it's now used for griefing, that's it. I'm getting frequently asked why we don't update our survival world to Minecraft 1.13, or even if you would consider updating to Minecraft 1.14, but our answer is always no, at least not in the near future. And the reason is just the sum of the removal of interesting behaviors, like the reduced drop chance of blown up blocks, then player-based chunk loading got completely removed, or the ability to break bedrock with dragon eggs. So the combination of the removal of a lot of interesting, in some cases also unintended behaviors, and the poor performance of Minecraft 1.13 make us stay in Minecraft 1.12. There's actually more content, at least for our interest, in the old version of Minecraft 1.12 than it is in Minecraft 1.13 and 14 combined. You can only spend so much time staring at foxes, dolphins and pandas, but you can spend literally hundreds of hours working with interesting mechanics. Alright, that's it for this video. I will also put the links in the video description to the bug reports, but they are actually closed as working as intended, it's just for reference. Thanks so much for watching, see you in the next video, bye bye!